Listen closely. This isn't just another story, it's your wake-up call. The time for waiting, for silence, is over. You've been hiding in the shadows, too afraid to step into your power, too afraid to reclaim your voice. But here's the truth, your silence has been deafening. And now, it's time to break it. You've been through hell, haven't you? You've felt the weight of the world on your shoulders, as if every step forward only led you deeper into the darkness. But understand this, the battles you've fought, the struggles you've endured, they've been preparing you for this moment. They've been shaping you into something far stronger than you've ever known. It's not just about surviving anymore, it's about rising. This is not just about reclaiming your voice. This is about reclaiming your power, your life. Every moment of pain, every tear, every time you thought you couldn't go on, has been forging you into something unstoppable. So, I'm telling you now, it's time to break the silence and let the world hear your roar. You've been walking around like a shadow of yourself, shattered and hollow. It feels as though a weight has been pressing down on you, one you can't shake off, no matter how many times you try to stand tall. The smile you put on your face every morning is just a mask, and inside, you feel the emptiness. You feel the echoes of all your past mistakes, the voices of those who told you that you weren't enough, and the sting of rejection that cut you deeper than anything you've ever let show. Your heart is a battlefield. You've fought battles that no one even knows about, wounds that no one can see. And yet, you keep going. You keep carrying the broken pieces of yourself, pretending everything's okay, but the cracks are so deep they threaten to swallow you whole. Your mind is a storm, one that rages constantly, swirling with doubt, fear, and regret. You fight to keep the storm contained, but some days it feels like the wind will carry you away. The world hasn't been kind to you, has it? It's been cruel, pushing you down, trying to break you, molding you into something you were never meant to be. And those people, those voices, the ones who told you that you were nothing, that you wouldn't amount to anything, they became the villains in your story. They weren't just words, they were poison, slowly leaking into your veins, making you believe the lies they told you. You weren't born to be small. You weren't born to hide in the shadows. Yet somewhere along the way, you let those voices define you. You let them tell you who you were supposed to be, and in doing so, you lost sight of the truth that you are more than the limitations they've placed on you. They tried to kill your spirit, to silence your fire. But what they didn't know, what they didn't see, was that you are a force that cannot be silenced. The critics, the doubters, they want you to believe that you are nothing, that you are meant to stay small. The world would love nothing more than to keep you down, keep you quiet, keep you hidden. But what they fear is the moment you realize your true potential, the moment you stop listening to the lies they've told you and start embracing the truth that has been inside of you all along. You've been told you're not good enough. You've been made to feel like you have no place. But those voices are not your truth. They are a reflection of the world's fear of what will happen when you finally rise. Your true villain isn't the world. It isn't the pain you've been through. Your villain is your own self-doubt, the lies you've allowed to take root in your mind, the fear you've carried for far too long. And it's time to destroy it. Your true strength has always been there, waiting to be unlocked. But first, you must acknowledge that you've been letting the villain win for too long. It's time to take back control, to silence the doubts, to stand up to the fear, and to reclaim your power. It's time to stop listening to the noise, to the voices of the world that have tried to push you into the ground. You've been carrying them for far too long. So now I'm asking you, are you ready to shed the weight of those lies? Are you ready to stop being the shadow and start being the storm? Because you have the power to break free, and you always have. The world didn't break you. The pain didn't break you. It was the belief that you were broken that held you back. If you wait for someone to save you, you'll stay broken forever. Every moment you spend in this place of waiting for someone, anyone, to come along and fix it is another moment lost. Another moment where you sink deeper into the shadows. You think that if you stay quiet long enough, if you keep your head down, maybe the storm will pass and things will get better on their own. But let me tell you something, it won't. Because staying in the victim's seat, waiting for someone else to rescue you, isn't just a form of passivity, it's a sentence. A sentence that holds you in place, frozen in your pain, in your fear, in your silence. Every time you let that pain win, every time you choose to hide from the truth, you give away another piece of your power. And do you know what happens when you keep giving away your power? You lose it. You lose yourself piece by piece, until all that's left is a hollow shell of the person you were meant to be. You've been there, haven't you? You've felt it. The weight of each passing day, the exhaustion of pretending that everything's okay when inside you're breaking apart. You've been walking through life like a ghost, barely existing, barely breathing. And what's worse, you've gotten so used to it. You've convinced yourself that this numbness is normal, that this ache in your chest is something you just have to accept. But it's not normal. And it's not okay. You are so tired, aren't you? So tired of the endless cycle. So tired of trying and failing. So tired of hoping that one day things will just magically get better. But no one is coming to save you. No one can. It's not their job to. It's yours. And deep down, you know that. You feel it. That spark inside of you, that whisper telling you that you can rise. But you're scared. Scared of what might happen if you let go of the past. If you let go of the pain. If you stop being the person the world expects you to be. But here's the truth, your story isn't over. This isn't where your story ends. No, this is the moment before the breakthrough. This is the low point where everything feels like it's crumbling, but what you don't see is that this is the exact moment when you have the power to change everything. This is your moment of choice. You can stay stuck, or you can take that first step towards something greater. Yes, I know you're hurting. I know you feel like there's no way out, like the weight of the world is just too much. But this pain is not forever. It never was. It's a chapter in your story, not the entire book. And you are the author. You have the power to close this chapter. You have the power to rewrite the next one. The monster they've built in your mind isn't real, and the chains you feel aren't as strong as they seem. The longer you stay in this place, the more you lose. But the longer you wait to step out of it, the more you'll regret it. Every moment you stay in that victimhood, every time you let that self-doubt control your actions, you are choosing to stay broken. You are choosing to let them win. And I know, deep down, that you're tired of letting them win. You're tired of feeling like you have no choice. You're tired of feeling like life is slipping through your fingers, like you can't get a grip on anything. But this is your moment. This is the moment where everything can change. This is the crossroads. Will you stay in the dark? Or will you rise and show the world what you're truly capable of? You felt the pain, you felt the loneliness, and you felt the emptiness. But now it's time to feel the fire. To feel the power of your own resilience. To feel the strength that's been growing inside you all this time. The storm is brewing inside you, and it's time to let it rage. This is your moment of choice. Don't waste it. Rise. Let's talk about the pain you've been carrying. It's heavy, isn't it? But what if I told you that every time they tried to break you, every time they told you you couldn't, they were just making you stronger? They didn't know it, but every insult, every moment of rejection, every failure they threw in your face was shaping you into something far more powerful than you could ever imagine. You are not the sum of your pain. You are the power that comes from it. Your pain doesn't define you, it refines you. It's not the final chapter in your story, it's the fuel for the next one. You've been walking through fire for so long, but did you know? You're not burned, you're forged. Every tear, every heartache, these are not signs of defeat. They are the preparation for your victory. You've been tested, and you've survived. Your resilience? It's been building quietly, behind the scenes, while you thought you were losing. Every storm you faced, every obstacle you thought was going to swallow you whole, it's been forging a stronger version of yourself. You didn't break, you adapted, you learned. And now, you stand taller than you've ever stood before, even if you can't see it yet. You've survived every storm, and I don't just mean the small ones, I mean the hurricanes, the torrential downpours, the kind of storms that could tear most people apart. You survived those. You didn't just survive them, you grew stronger in them. You learned things about yourself that no one else could teach you. You found strength in the darkest of places. And now, when the next storm comes, and it will come, you won't flinch. You will stand, head high, ready for it. They tried to make you weak, tried to make you shrink back into yourself, into that small version of you they wanted you to be. But all they did was make you more resilient. You thought you were losing, didn't you? Thought that with every setback, with every heartbreak, that you were broken. But you're not broken. You're in the process of becoming unstoppable. The world wanted you to be a victim. It wanted you to believe that you were too small, too insignificant, too flawed to ever stand tall again. But the truth is, they never saw you coming. They didn't know that every time they knocked you down, you were learning how to get back up even stronger. Every challenge you've faced has been a lesson and opportunity to discover the strength that's been buried beneath all the noise, beneath all the doubt. You've been telling yourself for so long that you're not enough, that you're broken, unworthy of the success, the happiness, the love you crave. But here's the thing, you've always been enough. All that pain, all that pain, all that struggle has been the soil in which your power has been growing. Your pain has been your teacher, your mentor, your guide. It's shown you just how much you can endure. It's shown you how much strength you really have. And now it's time for you to step into that strength. You've been building resilience for so long. You've already won half of this battle. You've got the armor. You've got the courage. Now it's time to unleash it. What happens when you finally decide to stop hiding from your own power? What happens when you finally decide to rise up, to roar back at the world that tried to hold you down. You become a force they'll never be able to control. You stop being the victim of your own story and start being the hero. You realize that your strength was never a question. It was always there, waiting for you to remember it. The storms haven't broken you. They've prepared you. You are the storm now. The winds of doubt, they'll never touch you again. The floods of fear, they'll never drown you. You are the chaos they never saw coming, the force of nature they'll never be able to tame. And now is your time to rage. They wanted to see you fall, but all they've done is made you unshakable. You are stronger than you've ever been, and you have the power to take control of your own fate. No more pretending, no more pretending, no more hiding. The world is waiting for the force that you are about to become. Now it's time to take that pain, that resilience, and turn it into something powerful. Now it's time for you to rise. They thought they could bury you in the dirt, but they forgot one thing: seeds grow in the dark. All that time, they thought they were crushing you. They thought that if they buried you under the weight of their lies, under the weight of their rejection, under the weight of their judgment, that you would never rise again. But they were wrong. You've been growing this whole time. You were never meant to stay down. You were never meant to remain buried. You are the seed, the force, the storm that rises from the soil and shatters everything in its path. They thought they could break you, but they just watered your roots. You're here. You're alive. You are everything they tried to crush, and so much more. You've been walking through this world as if you were weak, as if you were small, but that was never who you were. You are a force of nature, a hurricane in human form. You are the chaos they couldn't control. And now it's time to take that power, to take that strength, and unleash it. So I'm asking you now, are you going to stay down? Are you going to stay in that place where they put you? Are you going to continue letting the world tell you who you are? Or are you going to rise? Are you going to let them silence you? Or are you going to finally roar, loud enough to make the world listen? Are you going to keep crawling in the shadows, afraid of your own power? Or will you finally stand up and let your true strength shine through? So, I ask you again, will you continue to let them define you? Will you keep letting the world label you as something less than you are? Or will you finally decide to define yourself? Will you stay quiet, hiding in the shadows, or will you make the world hear your roar? You've been through hell. You've been through pain that should have broken you. But it didn't. It shaped you. And now, you stand at the crossroads. You have two choices: stay in the past, in the silence, in the fear, or rise. Rise with everything you've learned. Rise with the strength that's been building inside you this whole time. Rise and show the world what happens when they mess with the wrong person. This is your moment. This is your time to rise. They wanted to bury you. They wanted to crush you. But all they did was make you unbreakable. Now, you hold the power to take everything they tried to use against you and turn it into the fuel for your fire. You are the storm, and the world isn't ready for what's about to come. So, I'm going to ask you one last time, are you going to rise, or are you going to let them win? It's time to decide. The world is waiting for your roar. It's time. The storm inside you is no longer a whisper in the distance. It's roaring louder than ever, and it's calling you to step into the life you were always meant to live. No more hiding, no more playing small. The world has seen your pain, and now it will witness your rise. Pick up the pieces of everything that's been thrown at you and build something unbreakable. The pieces of your brokenness, they're not pieces of failure. They are the foundations of your greatness. Every scar you carry is a reminder that you survived, and survival is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to your strength. You are not the same person you were before the storm. You are someone new, someone stronger, someone with the power to thrive, despite everything that's tried to hold you back. You've walked through fire, been torn apart by words, by rejection, by loss. But those things, they didn't destroy you. They shaped you. They gave you the armor you need to fight harder, to rise stronger, and to take what's rightfully yours. You are not fragile. You are unbreakable. Now, it's time to act. It's time to use everything you've been through as fuel for what's next. You've been waiting for the moment when everything would finally come together, right? Well, this is it. This is that moment. Stop waiting. Stop hoping that someone will come and fix it for you. You are the hero of your own story. The power to create your future is in your hands. Step forward now, not as someone haunted by their past, but as someone who uses their past as fuel to ignite their future. Your past was never a curse, it was the proving ground. Every battle you fought, every tear you shed, every heartache you endured, they have prepared you for this. This moment, right now, is your chance to take what was once broken and turn it into the strongest, most resilient version of yourself. The world is ready for you. They've seen the pieces of you that you've allowed them to see, but now it's time to show them the whole picture, the whole powerful you, The version of you who refuses to be silenced. The version of you who's learned from every failure, from every setback, from every loss. Every battle you fought has prepared you for this moment. You are more than what they tried to make you believe. You are the storm that has been waiting to break free. You are the force that was never meant to be contained. And now, it's your time to rise. They tried to break you. They thought they could silence you. But all they did was forge a weapon. And now, it's time to unleash that weapon on the world. You are the storm. And the world is about to feel the force of everything you've been holding inside. It's time to rise. This isn't just your comeback. This is your revolution. Take action now. Make it count. Make them regret ever underestimating you. You are unstoppable. The world will know your name, not because of the pain you've endured, but because of the fire you've become. Step into it, own it, and make your mark. You are the chaos they'll never control. And now the world is yours for the taking. Look at what you've been through. No, I mean really look at it. Every moment that tried to break you, every time you thought it was the end, every time you felt the weight of the world pressing down on your chest, look at all of that. It's not just the sum of your suffering, it's the story of your transformation. What do you see now? The person you used to be. That version of you, hiding in the shadows, afraid of what would happen if you let your light shine. Or do you see the person you are becoming, the one who's breaking through, who's rising like a phoenix from the ashes, stronger than ever? I want you to really feel the magnitude of this shift. You are no longer who they thought you were. You are not the broken soul they tried to convince you you were. No, you are something else entirely. You are the wildfire they tried to contain. You are the lightning that will never strike twice in the same place. You are the force they feared would come and destroy everything in its path. But you are just getting started. This is only the beginning of your greatness. The world doesn't even know what's coming. They haven't seen your full strength, your true power. They thought they could stop you, make you small, make you doubt yourself. But all they've done is fuel the fire inside you. And now, you're ready to take what's yours. So I'm telling you now, go out into the world and show them who you've become. Let them see the storm you've unleashed. Let them feel the power that's been building inside you, quietly, silently. Until now, they can't stop you. They never could. The storm is here and you are it. Now, go. Make them witness your greatness. Make them feel the ground shake beneath you. The world is yours, and you've already won. It's time to rise.